fun.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's another edition of the Heads Up podcast with Neil Davis and the GOAT, going through a bit of racing action from last week, previewing a couple of races this week, and taking another trip down memory lane. We had a bit of positive feedback, Neil, last week about our little session on Satisfy, that iron horse of the 80s, and good to see people enjoying those reminiscing stories that we've going to do for the next little while. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Goat. Yeah, it's good to reminisce about those horses that weren't in the limelight all the time, and some of the people as well. So I'll be touching on a horse later on. So looking forward to that part. But gee, last week I know you were in charge of the Punters Club last week at Havapudi, and you did a Lady Gwendolyn on Whimsical.
Yeah, both of us dodged pretty big bullets. We're in big holes.
Yeah.
You on Friday and me on Saturday. But yeah, Whimsical. She's a big, strong filly, daughter of Savabeel out of a Redute's Choice mare. So she's got a lot of breeding on her side. And I know the confidence was pretty high in the camp, and just sat outside the leader and just kind of bullied Love to All in the final stages and got us out of a decent hole, Neil. It was pleasing to see Whimsical win the eulogy, that's for sure.
It was interesting. Who wrote it? Was it Jonathan Riddell?
Parks.
Jonathan Parks, yeah. And even T. Lee referred to how he's looking around on the corner there, seeing what was coming. And it's always a good sign, isn't it, when they're looking over their shoulder to see what's coming. And, they must have some up the sleeves. Certainly proved that the beat. Geez, when she picked really strongly. And gee, from an Oaks point of view, she's got the size and breeding in her favour. And wasn't she $18 after the race for the Oaks?
I think I saw a price of 14 maybe, but
yeah.
I thought that was still pretty good value relative to some of the other
That's right.
Horses that are higher in the market than her. But yeah, that would be interesting to see what pathway Stephen Marsh takes with her to get her to the Oaks in March. But I think she's a filly with a bit of upside now. It was only her third start, so she's still learning the game. But as she fills out that frame of hers, I think she could be a pretty serious horse. Unfortunately, you'd imagine that probably she'll go over to Australia at the end of her, or during her 3-year-old career maybe, and might not come back, but like Lucia Valentina. But we've got to enjoy her while we can. And Te Rapa on Saturday, the Waikato Cup, bit of a boil over there. We thought Sauvignon Blanc was a home run, ranged up at the 150 as if it was going to go past, but Ocean Billy had too much in reserve and just kicked on too well to take that race.
Yeah, exactly right. I thought exactly the same thing. I thought when Sauvignon Blanc loomed up, I thought surely she can get past Ocean Billy, but gee, it just shows a good, tough, trained horse, and it was a big run on the Livermore, Wait for Age, so ran on nicely at his start in between the Pukekohe, so good, tough horse, and deserved that win. Good odds, $21 or something. That was a good race. Good racing there on Saturday, actually, too. Yeah. And Coventina Pay, I was pleased to see her get up. That was a really good win. And tossing up between the Telegraph and the, not Thorndon, the Rich Hill, weren't they, I think?
Oh, the Rich Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Robbie's a good man. I think he got confused. He thinks the Telegraph's on the 30th of January, I think. It's on the 16th, so he might not have enough time if he ran in the Rich Hill to be able to freshen it up to get it back to the 1200 in 2 weeks and a day. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. I'd say Rich Hill would be next for her, and then I don't think she'll be going to the Telegraph, would be my guess. Just based on that interview after the race, I think he thought the Telegraph was on the 30th of January, but it's not. So
I thought he was
very good mare.
I thought he was tossing up between the two races where to go next.
Yeah, but the Telegraph's on. Oh, you think she might not run in the Rich Hill?
Yeah, that's the impression I got. Maybe I got the wrong impression, but yeah, I couldn't see her going the Rich Hill in the Telegraph, but I thought the Telegraph would be a better race for her because Ella's lead, she'll get back and rely on luck and tempo, where the Telegraph, they go flat out normally, and I think that long shoot.
Telegraph's Wait for Age, that won't suit her. She'll go to the Rich Hill Mile she'll run in an open handicap again.
Oh, it is too. It's weight for age. Yeah, you're right too. So yeah, good point. Yeah.
Anyway, it was good. She's certainly always had ability, had a bit of bad luck from time to time, but when she's on her game, she's got a pretty powerful finishing burst, hasn't she?
Yeah, and I was watching, was I back commenting today, and their danger was pre-defer, and you knew Opie got fined recently quite heavily for overuse of the whip when he rode in a twinkling in the Counties Cup, and I was counting his number of strokes before the 200-metre mark. He hit it 4 times. He made sure he didn't go over 5. There was 11 times from the 100-metre in. So, yeah, that was great race. Interesting, that sort of thing. I find. Yeah. Anyway, now we've got 2 good races at Awapuni tomorrow. You'll be out there, won't you, I suppose?
Yep, we're running the Manawatu Punter of the Year again. It's always a good day out. Lots of teams, kind of their end of year get together on that day. So looking forward to that. Yeah, the racing will be good. The weather's going to be great. The track's going to be perfect, you'd think. And we'll have a look at race 7 to start with, Neil, the Kevin Pratt Memorial Manawatu Challenge Stakes, the Group 2 1400 over for 100,000. Looks a 2-horse race to me, Neil, but I've got a feeling you're going to go for something outside the square. Are you telling me something outside of Call Sign Mav and Tavi Mac will be winning this race?
No, Kiwi Item possibly, but she had an allergy problem last up. But no, it's Call Sign Mav and Tavi Mac, but I'm confident it'll go one way.
You're going to say Call Sign Mav.
I am too. How did you guess? No, I thought, well, he beat Tavi Mac. Here's my reasoning. He beat Tavi Mac by 2.5 lengths in the Tarzino, wasn't it?
Correct.
A weight for age, same weights. And then he ran third, an excellent time to Melody Bell and Avantage over the mile, and really good time. Rating, it was 120 on Form Pro ratings, when very few horses even get to 118, let alone 120. So it was an excellent run. And he's been freshened up. He trialled really well, and he's had the visor blinkers on and a crossover noseband, I think it is, or noseband. And Jonathan Riddell said he's just a happier horse with that gear change. So I just think he'll sit second outside probably Tavi Court, and then Tavi Mac will be in the trail. And then from there, I think Courts on Mav will kick and be too good for Tavi Mac. But I'm thinking you won't agree. You don't agree.
Can't agree. Yeah, hey, the Tarzino form, yes, on that you'd say Call Sign Mav. I just think Tavi Mac's gone to another level since that race. When he runs 6th, he's had 2 wins since then. And I just think he's right in the zone. He's race hard fit. Call Sign Mav, fresh up. Trialled well. Exhibition gallop last Wednesday at Hastings was okay, I thought. Wasn't brilliant. So I'm all over Tavi Mac. I don't think he'll get beaten. I think he's the bet of the weekend.
Okay, I was going the other way. But it'll depend. What's that track like at the moment? Because it was a dead 5 yesterday afternoon. I'll just double check on that.
Yeah, they irrigated. They did a bit of irrigation yesterday. I think it'll come back. Probably by the time this race runs, it'll be right on the cusp of a dead 4, good 3. Probably a good 3.
Well, if it's a good 3, dead 4, and they can run 122 or better, I think. If it was a dead 6 or worse, I'd say Tavi Mac's definitely, it's even Stevens. But I know dead 4 a good 3 track. I think Call Sign Mav's second out, he'll kick.
All right.
Bloody hard. But Tavi Mac, I know he won so well at Otaki. I thought he is going really well. It's going to be a great race. I'm looking forward to it.
It should be a good race. And then straight after that, we've got the Manawatu Cup, sponsored this year by Bramco Granite and Marble, 2,300. Usually you start at the bottom of the field for these type of handicap staying races. And the TAB bookies have found number 15 Star Czar. Installed that, the $4.60 favourite. You in his camp?
Couldn't have him at 460. Just couldn't have him. He's just he's a big loping horse, and Amino Rocoso will run along the front, which will help string them out, and having that extra strength and size will help. But I thought I was really impressed with Hunter Pence's win at Wanganui. It was a strong tempo, had every right to weaken, and just kept kicking and running really good speed rating, which compares all the times on the day. And I think he's drawn perfectly to be on the pace again. And over 2-3, he'll be damn hard to beat. What do you like?
Yeah, I agree with you about Stars Are. He's the lay of the weekend at that price.
Yeah.
I can't see him winning. He does too many things wrong.
Yeah.
He's got ability, but just I think not for me. I like number 6, Duplicity. Big run 3 wide the trip the first day, in on the minimum weight. They'll be set for this race. And remember, it only got beaten about a head in the New Zealand Cup by Biswinkle a couple of years ago. So, yeah, I think Duplicity is the one for me at $10 in the Manawatu Cup.
Yeah, no, it was a good run last start. Yeah, wide in the open, so good tough horse, and yeah, race that I think you can get a good each way value there. I think Platinum Vader will drop back and run on nicely. He's been set for the City of Auckland Cup again, so I think it's a race right for the picking for a good double figure each way bet there. Yeah, right. Now, last week the question was about trainer Richard Collett.
Yep.
Which of the Colletts rode the most winners for him?
Yep, and the answer was Jason.
Yep.
Jason's on Jason. I think we had 7 correct entries. Is that right, Neil?
Yep. Give me a number.
We'll go number 7.
7. Stuart. That's the first time Stuart's won, so he'll be happy. I'll place that bet for you by lunchtime tomorrow. Okay, new question for.
Okay, we've seen it's Christmas. We're in the spirit of goodwill and giving. Not a hard question this week. Chris Johnson is trying to break the all-time record for most wins in New Zealand by a jockey. He's trying to surpass David Walsh. The question is, who did David Walsh surpass to take the record? So who was the jockey that David Walsh surpassed to become number 1? If you know the answer to that, text or email your answer through to Neil by Tuesday evening. You'll be in the draw on Thursday. I think we'll do a podcast next Thursday, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, true, right. Yeah, and a little bit of help there. Cosi Asano thinks that rider was one of the best ever. 027 352 6402 or formpro@formpro.co.nz by Tuesday night, and we'll pick that one around on Thursday. Rightio. Any brickbats or bouquets?
No, I just think it's good. The both Tauranga, Te Rapa, Awapuni all had good crowds over the weekend, so it's positive to see people still enjoying a day at the races. It's part of a corporate shout, perhaps, or with groups of friends, and no, it was good. The atmosphere, I was obviously only at Tauranga and Awapuni, but my mail is Te Rapa as well. The atmosphere was pretty good, so good to see people coming out and getting along to the track at this time of the year.
Yeah, no, it is. Lots of Christmas racing coming up. It's going to be even busier and better. I'll give a bouquet.
Okay for one of your favourite people.
Yeah, David. He's done a wonderful job with the selections for the greyhounds. He's really put a lot of time into the sectionals in the morning himself for Christchurch and Palmerston North, and I think he's doing Auckland as well. So he's got a lot of information there, puts a lot of time into the study. And yesterday he had 4 selections and all 4 came in. So well done, David. Keep up the great work. Now, last week we touched on Satisfy. Having a lot of starts, and there was a horse that sort of came to mind from that. A horse that I used to follow back in the 70s, actually. Horse that started his first race in 1972 and finished as a 9-year-old. And I'm trying to rack my brain about why he was such an interesting horse to follow. And I got in hold of a chap called Jim Flay, who is a fountain of knowledge for researching horses and finding out information about them. So thanks very much, Jim, for all this information. Now, this is a quick summary of his career. It was trained by the Bill Pomari of the 70s, Bob McCosh, who also trained the 1973 Great Northern Steeples winner, Bob's Luck. And a little story with that. When Bob's Luck won the Great Northern Steeples, he went into the bay, had a couple of beers with his mates. After the horse was washed down by his mate, he jumped on the horse's back, rode it down the front straight of Ellerslie, down to the truck, and took off back home to Te Puke. He was a real character, a terrific guy. And the horse he trained was Kai Pipi as well, which is a horse I followed as well. But here we go. As a 2-year-old, no starts. It gets interesting as we get further on. As a three-year-old, he had 18 starts for 2 wins. 4-year-old, 27 starts for 1 win. Then as a 5-year-old, 43 starts for 2 wins. But his last 20 starts, he was unplaced. As a 6-year-old, he had 20 starts, all unplaced. As a 7-year-old, 8 starts unplaced. 8-year-old, 4 starts, all unplaced. And as a 9-year-old, 2 starts unplaced. So that's the memory of this horse, because every time he started at Ellerslie or wherever he started, people used to say, oh, here comes Mokopuna again, going around again, because he had 54 consecutive starts that were unplaced, mostly duck eggs. But it was just one of those horses that, oh, he come. And in the later years, people used to refer to horses that had a lot of duck eggs as here comes the Mokopuna of the race, you know. So, and Bob McCosh, he died in 2015. So, a real character of racing, and he's not far from where I live. So I'm going to try and find out about the history and go and visit where he used to train these horses.
So, Neil, how many of those last 54 starts of Mokopuna's career do you think you backed him in?
I never backed. I might have backed him on one, I think, but it was just interesting to watch the horse. He was obviously a very sound horse, farm trained, tough horse. But,
so I didn't do the maths quick enough. How many starts in total did he have in his career? Do you know?
Good question. Would have been
well over 100.
No, it was over 100. I remember he had over 100 starts, 110, 120 starts, I think, in total. So.
And how many wins in total?
5 wins.
5.
Yeah. That's not bad.
To me, it sounds like Bob McCosh sounds like a guy in Australia by the name of Bryce Stanaway. He has horses running around and around and around that haven't won races. Like that horse off the top of my head, Castano Millie. I think that's had about 80 or 90 starts, hasn't won a race, but he always sets them for that Battlers race. I can't remember the name of it now. Ballarat, for horses that haven't won certain amount of money or something. So, but you need all sorts of people in this game, don't you? And I'm sure the horse enjoyed his trade and went round and tried his hardest. And Bob enjoyed probably getting to the races and maybe getting to the bar as well.
Yeah, I remember him, the races, and he was a terrific chap. And I'll try and find out some more information about where he used to train, etc., etc. But you've got a horse lined up for next week for us?
Yep, I've got another one lined up. We'll touch on that. So if there's any people that want to send in suggestions of interesting horses that we can profile, feel free to do that. But no, it's good to, I guess, look back at the past and enjoy some of that's the beauty of racing, is there's no exact, it's not an exact science. There's no recipe. This is the way you must train or, program a horse's races. Everyone does it differently. And that's the beauty of it.
Look at Bill Pomari, he's just up against Te Akau, and the horse is just too fit, too tough. And as long as you've got the right horse and can get the best out of it and make it happy and fit, you get the results. So it's just great to see someone like Bill in that race last week. I see he's staying out of retirement, get the horse going. So good stuff. Yeah. Rightio. So you have a good weekend. What's the big prize in the Punters Club?
I think it's about 2,500 first prize. So it's with all these punters competitions, it's the kudos that comes with it, Neil.
That's right.
It's the boasting, it's the bragging rights, it's you're the champion for that year. So
right, yeah.
There'll be a keenly contested competition tomorrow. Probably be 80 plus teams. So hopefully the plan is to have the winner appear on Sundays with Clado, the BGP radio show that can be listened to via the BGP app or Love Racing website, live on the show on Sunday morning. So hopefully we can arrange that.
Yeah, no, that'll be great. And tell me, will the betting be only on tote only, or can they bet final field? Or
Tote only. So it's must bet every race. So 9 races, minimum of $80 per race, tote only. So yeah, it'll help the tote pools a little bit. Not as much as say on Hawke's Bay Punter of the Year Day in October, but there'll be some decent pools there because of the injection from the punters competition.
from race 1, I presume?
What's that?
Is it from race 1?
Yep, every race 1 to race 9.
Yeah, okay. So we could see some fluctuations late on the tote fields, one only fields in place then. Yeah. Rightio. Oh well, thanks very much everyone for watching. Yeah, we'll catch up next Thursday for our final heads up for the year, and hopefully we can see Call Sign Mav outfinish Tabby Mac.
No chance.
No.
You're a brave man to bet against the Sharrock stable at the moment. That's all I'll say, Neil.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to that chocolate fish. So you've got to have a chocolate fish on this, crikey.
Yeah, this is going to be a big old go.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting watching the fluctuations later on the.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, all the best, everybody.